Good morning, America. It is Wednesday morning, the day after the Iowa Caucuses. First in the nation, making history. So the Republican caucus results are in. For those of you who make YouTube your primary source of news, here are the results. Mitt Romney comes in first place with 25% of the vote. Trailing behind him only by 8 votes, Rick Santoroum. Not particularly surprised by that result. Iowa is definitely a home to the religious right. Rick Santoroum tends to do well with those people. Trailing Rick Santoroum with 21% of the vote, Ron Paul, our main man, making history. Definitely a good result for his campaign. I really believed he would get second, considering what the polls were showing. But there were some powers that be that made sure that didn't happen. Mark my words, these results they're skewed. But in fourth place, Newt Gingrich moving his campaign forward, ready for New Hampshire. Vic Perry goes in fifth place. He's thinking about dropping out. He said he's going to return to Texas to reassess his goals and examine the results here and decide if there's a place for him in this race. We probably won't be seeing him again. Michelle Bachmann's campaign is imploding with only 5% of the vote in sixth place. I predict that she will drop out of the race probably after the New Hampshire primary. She might drop out in the next couple days, who knows. She sank a lot of her campaign into Iowa, so finishing this slate is a little bit embarrassing for her campaign, and I think very detrimental. She was banking on Iowa, what can I say? And it's over. John Huntsman, of course, in last place with 1% of the vote. He didn't even try. He even said he really didn't care about the Iowa caucus, and I can definitely understand why. He doesn't feel like wasting a lot of time there, but he's ready for New Hampshire. Maybe he'll do better. No Preference was in next place with 135 votes. Imagine showing up to a caucus, sitting through those long, boring speeches, driving out in this freezing cold weather, and then saying, I don't really care. I don't really care which one gets it. I mean, I would understand if they said none of them. Like, hey, they all suck. I could definitely relate to that. But whatever. Other 117 votes, whatever that means. And of course, coming right behind other, Mr. Herman Cain, with 58 votes. I'm not sure if those were diehard supporters, or if that was just like a joke ballot, like, oh yeah, Herman Cain, ha! I'm not really sure, but Herman Cain got 58 votes. Buddy Romer got 31, don't even know who that is. Yeah, but those are the results for you. Wanted to talk to you about them a little bit. This is definitely going to get some momentum going for Ron Paul. I think he purposely planned not to finish in first when the media said that they tried to say that he would ruin the caucuses and he would take away all their credibility. I still think it's funny looking back at it. What a joke. Man, if Ron Paul wins, that's going to prove that we're not reliable. Whatever. But who was it? Was it like a party chairman or someone that said nobody's going to be looking at who wins first place in Iowa? We agree now. We agree. Nobody cares who came in first place. They're going to be looking at who came in second place and third place. Nobody's going to look at Rick Santoroum. Not too many people take him seriously, though he might get some momentum from this victory. I really don't see him as a serious candidate, so we're going to have to look at the guy in third place. So, well done, Ron Paul. He's going to get some momentum going into the other states. He's proven that he's a viable candidate, an electable candidate, and he's proven that he can win, and that he should be taken a lot more seriously. So congratulations to my main man, Ron Paul. But yeah, these results, not particularly surprising. Interestingly enough, this prediction was actually made. These results were known before this even happened. Republican strategist Dee Benke, and I'm going to put a link to the interview in the description of the video, but she even said that she seemed to make some strong suggestions that this was how it was going to go. The Republican Party is in charge of the caucuses. A lot of the voters in those caucuses are in the pockets of the Republican officials, the chairman and county chairman and state chairman and so on and so forth. And she was actually saying how, the Republican officials will look at a candidate and say, well, he serves that interest group or that interest group. We want him. And they'll send the memo out, say, we want this candidate to win. This is how it's going to happen. And those voters will go right along with it. Say, yes, sir, yes, master. We're going to vote the way you tell us to vote. So a lot of the caucus voters were in the pockets of Republican officials. So it was really not the people of Iowa, not even the Republican people of Iowa, but it was the Republican Party and the officials who chose the candidate. And she even, when asked, how this was going to go for Ron Paul, she said Ron Paul's definitely not going to win it. They're already talking about that behind the scenes, making their plans to see how they can stop him from winning. They don't want to discredit the party, lose their first-in-the-nation status. So the media got what it wanted, and the Republican Party got what they wanted. But she even said they were very closely divided on whether they were going to pick Rick Santoroum or Mitt Romney. She said something along the lines of there were a lot of people debating it, saying Mitt Romney's the one that can beat Obama, Mitt Romney's the one we have to support because he can win, blah, blah, blah. But then there was a divide of people also saying, well, we really like Rick Santoroum, and he worked really hard campaigning in this state, and, he came to my church or whatever. So Rick Santoroum and Mitt Romney, behind the scenes, were definitely going to win this thing. So it's not particularly surprising. It was arranged beforehand how this was going to turn out. Despite all that, though, despite the media, despite the efforts of the Republican establishment, despite everything else, Ron Paul came in third place, so we should focus on that. He's going to have more momentum going into the next states. This primary is very, very far from over. So it's not a time to rest. It's not a time to stop. Paul's supporters keep doing what we're doing. Anyway, those are the results. Just wanted to share them with you. Share my thoughts of them. Again, I'll put a link to that video. I think the interview speaks for itself. Says some very interesting things about how these races really go and what happens behind the scenes. But okay. Have a nice day. Hope I didn't bore anybody or talk too much, but that's my video for today. Have a nice day.